Our parents and students, and welcome to this next video on ledgers. Ole hasoni la tatitano ina ia ledgers. Ole ledgers is on a wing of a finger fee or say summary or say two for single transactions it affect ise accounts tasi. For example, if a person ledger for bank, no wing it on summarize my lalo the ledger of the bank. Your transactions I fee the bank. For example, if it's whether it's paying money or whether it's receiving money from accounts receivable or receiving money from the sale of a fixed asset or any type of transactions fee to pay for cash. Summarize your transactions na ilalo the ledger of the bank. I find for you ledger for stocks or inventories. It's on a record my year transactions like yearly stocks or inventories. So once again, ledger is a summary of all transactions that relates or all transactions that affect one account. Now, for ledger. Now this is 3 column or maybe or 3 column ledger. It's on a date, particular, folio, debit, credit, and balance. They just all of them for the general term. Now on a date, when I record daily on the transaction, particular or when I record daily account, they have few factors in the account. They only ledger. Statement would to nos fighting. Or folio or the numerical register like account na later particular. The numerical register like particular na ilalo le chart of accounts, and then debit, credit, and then the balance. Okay. Now let's say for example I'm going to give ole tahu ole malam malama ile account or tato malam malama assets or liabilities and owner's equity. Or assets or merely owned and controlled by the business. Liabilities, these are debts or accounts they owe the business to outside sources, meaning that they have to pay these people or these accounts. And then owner's equity, this is the owner's share into the business. Okay? Now, ole wingala talanta ole ma malamai accounts they tasilalo assets. On Montovo or assets, they have debit nature. Now normally or accounts ilalo assets ikaw debit. Ikaw debit lako nature. Whereas liabilities and OE, it's a credit nature. Debit nature assets and expenses. Assets and expenses, credit nature, liabilities, owner's equity, and revenue. Okay, so on nature your accounts that for these 5 accounts or these 5 elements are what we call financial elements. Okay, now ole tau ala malama ni tau ova engai ona o inata tu te lo ai le effect or transaction per afia isi account ilalo o va engai just let's look at the rule. Now, assets and expenses are debit and entry. So this is a debit to increase and a credit to decrease. On the winger, if I increase the asset, no winger debit entry or asset no. Decrease the asset, no winger down credit the entry or asset no. So this is the opposite for liabilities and owner's equity and revenue accounts. So this side, it's on a credit to increase and debit to decrease. Leo kanga vakus fani ta inga se transaction. Ona tata wole au ili le numo ole equation ya whether assets po ngi liabilities ya pura la fo ile ale financial element ya afia ya accounts. Onga me mon. So se transaction e tau ona luani accounts ya afia ma in those accounts it's the one debit lease account, a credit lease account. There should always be a credit entry for every debit entry. Ele mafayonga debit accounts oi be credit for account in terms of transaction. There should be a debit and a credit entry for every transaction. Mena ta'u ole double entry. Or the concept now, or the double entry. There should always be a debit entry and a credit entry for every transaction. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. Example number 1: purchase new vehicle for 20,000 tala. Now, that the transaction it says purchase new vehicle. Now, the first thing to understand, polmeta all of it on that to identify polai mawase polai pace tupi. Leo tatu lo nei o lana fa tau me ta vale fo. Mana tua foi o le ki lo ai o lana pay de tupe on o le fa pe mai transaction and sa paid or on cash. But since this transaction only says that they purchased a new vehicle for 20,000, that means this transaction is on credit. Okay? So lono winga. Oi dua account na afia I tonu na. Account number 1 is vehicle. Na afia de vehicle. Ole mafoanga no lau sau tonu le vehicle fo tonu business. So now they have a new asset because vehicles are assets. Okay? So asset le vehicle. Okay? The other account na afia na ole accounts payable. Mana tua mai o le so se taimi lava whaatau e se o loa e posa fixed asset for on credit. O fia le accounts payable o accounts ia le e all business to outside sources. So the business or accounts payable 20,000 tala for this new vehicle that they bought on credit. So, malto the accounts payable and a very little liabilities. Okay, so lono wing of accounts payable a credit longer nature. Okay, whereas vehicle and a very little assets, no wing a debit nature only vehicle. Okay, so increase la le vehicle. Malto it's the one increase le vehicle. Onga olowa sau to turn the vehicle forward to turn business. So now the business has a new vehicle worth 20,000. So if I pay olowa sau to turn the new vehicle and we need to increase the value of the vehicle and business. So that is an increase to the business. That is an increase to vehicle account. So therefore, it's a debit entry of the vehicle because remember the tula fono or rule is debit to increase for assets and credit to decrease. Okay, fa pena fu accounts payable, mana tua o le ua me e lunga tatu ai ta alafu